Welcome to Lesson 25. And congratulations, because you just finished Stage 3. This isn't a new lesson, it's a capstone. Over the next few minutes, we're going to take all 7 hardware lessons, from the guts of a desktop to USB-C and docks, and fuse them into one working mental model, so you can spec a complete PC for any user and defend every single choice. Here's the whole stage on one grid. 7 lessons, 7 big ideas. Desktop anatomy gave you the 7 fixed positions. Laptops taught you to plan upgrades at buy time because the CPU is soldered. Storage is the HDD to NVMe leap and the 3-2-1 backup rule. Monitors are resolution, refresh, panel, port. Keyboards and mice come down to switch type and connection. Printers, the cost is always in the ink. And USB, same plug doesn't mean same speed. That's your hardware-fluent brain in 2026. But here's the shift that matters. Those 7 lessons aren't 7 silos. They're 7 nodes wired together by about 15 plug points. The PSU powers the motherboard, CPU, and GPU. The motherboard hosts the CPU and RAM through socket and chipset. PCI lanes are shared between your GPU and your NVMe drive. The monitor depends on the GPU's output port and the right cable. Keyboard, mouse, printer, they all ride USB or network. Once you see those connections, you stop memorizing parts and start reasoning about builds. So here's the whole stack on one screen. At the bottom, power, the PSU, because nothing runs without it. Above that, the motherboard backbone where everything plugs in. Then compute, CPU, and GPU. Then memory and storage. Then the I/O fabric that carries USB and Thunderbolt out to the user layer. Monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer. Each layer leans on the one below it. Kill power. Everything dies. Kill the board. Everything dies. Memorize this picture out. It's your diagnostic map. Now let's put that map to work. A client says, build me a PC for a video editor. 4K timelines. Premiere, Resolve. Budget 2,500 euros. Watch how every choice traces back to a lesson. 12-core Ryzen, because encoders love cores. RTX 4070 for CUDA acceleration and 12 gigs of VRAM. 64 gigs of DDR5 because 4K timelines are memory hungry. A fast NVMe for Scratch. A big HDD for archive. 850-watt gold PSU with headroom. And a color-accurate 4K panel with USB-C for the user layer. Roll plus spec plus lesson. That's hardware fluent. Now it's your turn. 8 questions, 1 per lesson across Stage 3. Cover the answers, work through each one in your head, then check. 6 out of 8 means your hardware foundation is solid, and Stage 4 is waiting. Under 6, no shame. Just replay the weak lessons before moving on. This is the honest checkpoint that tells you if you're truly build ready. And once you've passed that checkpoint, here's what's waiting. Stage 4 shifts from the physical to the logical. 8 lessons across Windows, macOS, and Linux, covering everything from the kernel and file permissions to processes, bootloaders, and the registry. The goal is simple but powerful. Sit down at any machine, find a stuck process, fix permissions, restart a service. That's help desk fluency at the OS layer. But before you cross over, here's your Stage 3 brain on a single page, 1 line per lesson. 7 memory aids that should fire instantly, desktop layout, laptop trade-offs, storage speeds, and the 3-2-1 backup rule. Monitor matching, mechanical versus membrane, laser versus inkjet, and the golden USB-C reminder. Shape is not speed. Glance down the list. If any line feels foggy, that's your cue to replay that lesson. If all 7 click, you're ready. Now for some honest talk. 5 things I'd tell a friend who just finished hardware basics. 1. You can spec a PC and defend every choice. That alone separates you from the guessers. 2. Diagnosis is physical now. You know which layer fails. 3. You see through vendor marketing. 4. Stage 4 will feel different because software is abstract. Don't panic. Same method applies. And 5, go build something real. I built this PC beats any certificate in an interview. So here we are, Stage 3 complete, 7 lessons, 1 connected hardware model, and a learner who can spec, build, and diagnose with confidence. Next stop is Lesson 26, where we crack open the operating system, kernel, userland, and processes, and start bringing all that silicon to life. Hardware's locked in. I'll see you in stage 4.